Hello and welcome. This is Groovy Gift Giving. My name is Theodore. For this video, I'm going to address the topic that gifts don't have to be expensive. Now, I personally think that gift giving has become too stressful for a lot of people. I'm not only a proponent of us taking our gift giving to the next level, I'm a proponent of us reducing stress around gift giving altogether. I also believe that we don't need to go into debt or otherwise spend beyond our means in order to have good gifts and give good gifts and receive good gifts. There's a saying that people use often during gift exchanges about it's the thought that counts. And although this phrase is often used in scenarios where a crappy gift exchange has taken place, I do think that there is a point to this phrase. I think they're onto something. Now, the whole reason why I'm mentioning this in the video on why gifts don't have to be expensive is that if the gesture is sweet, the gift will land, period. Even if it's inexpensive or even cheap, a gift like that can be even inexpensive and cheap. If it's sweet and if it's the right gesture, it can land regardless of how much it costs. In fact, there are some instances in which an inexpensive gift can be even sweeter because it was inexpensive. One of the best gifts I ever gave my wife, and this was long before we got married, but it was when I was still in graduate school. One year, my wife had her birthday at a very inconvenient time for me. Let's put it that way. It was at the end of the summer, and again, I was in graduate school and my financial aid hadn't kicked in yet, so I was having to really I was working my way through college, and I was having to spend every dime I had on just living expenses that I would normally use some of my financial aid for. I believe I had $10 to my name when my wife's birthday came around. And she was, on her birthday, actual birthday, her family was taking her to the lake, which is something she loves doing. She loves anything to do with water. She likes water skiing and wakeboarding and stuff like that. And I had to work or school, like I can't remember, but it was a while ago. I couldn't make it to the lake, but I wanted to get her something as a gift, even though I only had $10. And so I went to a thrift store. I walked down to a thrift store, which was fairly close to my apartment at the time. And I looked around, and after a while I found a cool bucket hat that said "Life is Good" on the front. Now, the funny thing is at the time I didn't even know that was a brand, Life is Good, that you see on all kinds of products. I just thought it was a cool phrase that someone had put on a hat. And so I went out, I bought this for her, and it was, again, a bucket hat that's very appropriate for wearing to a lake or to a pool or something. And it said "Life is Good" on it, which again, I just thought was a good phrase. And I bought this for her. It was literally $1. And when I gave it to her, she freakishly loved it. And it was something that she could take to the lake then, and I'm not exaggerating when I say she still wears it during the summers today. She wears it. She loves that hat. When you only have $10 and you spend one of them on a gift, it's that I really needed that dollar at that time period. And so it's one of those gifts that I've given a lot of other gifts that have not landed nearly as well as that $1 gift. So I really do mean it. I am sincere about saying that it isn't about the money when we go buy a gift. I think even if you have the money to spend on a gift, sometimes getting something inexpensive can be meaningful as well. Or I should say, they can be the best gift we can give at the time. Now, I've mentioned this before, but I really think there's something special about making gifts. Now, I think part of what makes making a gift so effective is that you really are giving something when you make a gift. It's not necessarily money, although there's usually a little money involved, but you are giving your time, and that is very meaningful. You are saying, hey, I put my time into it, which is inherently meaningful. But that's not the only strategy we can use when we want to buy an inexpensive gift. I like to look for things for people that were meaningful to them earlier in life, say during their childhood. If you can maybe find out what their favorite toy was or favorite anything as a child, and you can sometimes track down things like this, like a toy from someone's childhood, and you can find them for relatively inexpensive. Sometimes not, obviously if it's something that's a big collector's item, or if it's something, if you're trying to find something that's still in the box, then yeah, that can be really expensive. That's not what I'm talking about. If you find something and it's not about it being a collector's item, it's about the memory of a toy or something from early in someone's life, you can find things that aren't that expensive, but that will have a lot of meaning to people later in life. I think finding out what someone's first concert is a really good strategy. First of all, it's just a fun topic of conversation. Almost everybody has a fun story from their first concert. But I think finding out what someone's first concert is and seeing if you can find a t-shirt from that concert, or at least the tour, can be a really, really good gift. If the t-shirt from a concert tour is too expensive or really hard to find online, maybe finding a digital file of the concert poster could be good to maybe have printed on a t-shirt, or actually gets printed as a poster as well. That could be a really good gift, and that wouldn't cost very much at all. If you find out that someone has lost something in their life that they really liked, sometimes you can find really, really good inexpensive gifts by tracking down something that they happen to have lost. I mentioned in a previous video a friend of mine who had lost a pair of sunglasses that were with heart-shaped lenses, and I had to find the right ones. I had to look at photos of her wearing them so that I could go online and make sure I was finding the right ones. I tracked them down. They weren't very expensive, and I got them for her, and it was a really, really good gift. And I think that, I don't know, sometimes the things that we really like, that really are special to us, aren't always very expensive. And if you figure out what they are and you track them down, that can be really good. I, for example, have something that, one of my favorite t-shirts that I had for quite a few years that I lost, I think, in a move a few years back, was a South by Southwest t-shirt. That was really cool. It was really like, really good material, and it had a Texas license plate on the front, and I think it just said South by Southwest on the license plate on the shirt. And I had it, and funny thing is I've never been to South by Southwest. I've always wanted to go, but I've never been. But this was one I found at a thrift store in Austin for, I think it was like $2 or something, and I wore it for years. I loved it. And I lost it. And I've tried to find it, I can't find it anywhere. If someone were able to find that t-shirt for me, that would be an amazing gift for me. It's something I really miss, and I loved wearing it. And if someone could find for me, that would be an excellent gift for me. So finding things like that for people, that's really, really good stuff. That's really meaningful. It means a lot to people, and it's a very sweet gesture. It's the listening and the effort of finding something like that is where the impact of that gesture comes from. And often we can find these things for not very much at all. Now, the last thing I want to mention in this video is how we can sometimes choose gift buying themes that yield inexpensive gifts. Obviously, we could just have a theme of like an inexpensive gift. Maybe we're only going to spend less than $5 or less than $1 on a gift. You can do a really fun gift exchange with free get, like we didn't spend any money on it. I kind of feel like you're always cheating at least a little in order to get to the free part, but that's a whole other topic. But yeah, you can maybe have I spent no more than $1 or $2 or $5 or whatever as a theme, and that can be really, really good. Or you could have a theme of just, we're going to make gifts, we're going to exchange gifts for one another, and that's our theme, is we're going to make gifts. But I think you can also do things like maybe we're going to exchange gifts that are from the 80s or the 90s, and that could yield to, going to a thrift store or something and finding something really, really inexpensive there. Maybe it could be a theme of something from your teen years or my teen years. And it could be fun if you're from the same generation, or it could be fun if it's from different generations. That could actually be really fun. If you set the theme as something where you are going to find things at a thrift store or some other type of place where you don't have to spend a whole lot of money, that's going to potentially, you'll wind up having gifts that aren't that expensive that could be really, really good. And I mentioned this, I think might have been my very first video that I did on this channel, how I did a gift exchange theme with a coworker of mine. That was one where we ended up exchanging the tackiest touristy gift we could find. And it was a really fun gift exchange where I went to New York and he went to Florida, and we both got each other gifts, and we were trying to find the most touristy, tackiest gift we could find, and I ended up getting him like a sort of a snow globe kind of thing, and he came back and got me literally the exact same thing. This is from Florida, from Key West, and it's just kind of a tacky little touristy gift that we ended up exchanging, and it was really fun. I don't know how much that cost, but it couldn't have been it couldn't have been very much. And I don't know, that's kind of themes I like to do as well. But anyway, I think that you can use your own creativity with themes as well to try to find something that's meaningful to you and to your friends and family, but that also is not very expensive. Okay, so that's all for this video. And my next video, which will be tip number 8 from my list of 10 tips of next level gift giving. And that will be on the topic of getting something that is unique and thoughtful. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in an upcoming video. Thank you.